it is pretty wild what's going on with gold. So, by the way, 5 years ago, Rob, can you ask what was a price of a kilo of gold in 2020? Price of kilo of gold in January of 2020. Okay, I used to buy these kilos of gold, and I look at the price, Tom. Tom, look at the price. We used to buy these kilos of gold in 2020, January, 6 years ago, and we would run contests, and the winners would get a kilo of gold, which is what? $50,000. You remember this?
2.2 pounds.
It was a phenomenal exercise. Guys would love it, but they would say it's just gold. Who cares about gold? Okay. Do you know at the time when we would buy this, the price of gold was $15.82. This is just 6 years ago, not 16 years ago, 6 years ago. Do you know how much gold hit this morning? Rob, can you pull up how much the price of gold is this morning? Price of gold this morning is $5,300, which means that $50,000 bar of gold that we would buy in January of 2020, Rob, what is it worth today? Can you ask the question, what is the price of a kilo of gold today? Kilo of gold today. Look at the price. From $50K to $170,000. To all the people we gave this gold to, like I said earlier, I hope you kept it, okay? I hope you kept it. I hope you set it aside somewhere. Well, let me read the story to you anyways. Dollar sinks to a 4-month low, and gold soars past 5,000 as yen leaps. Rob, I think you got a clip on this one here. Go for it.
Value of the dollar. Do you think it's declined too much?
No, I think it's great. I mean, the value of the dollar. Look at the business we're doing. No, dollar's doing great.
You want to see it decline?
You know, it's very interesting. If you look at China and Japan, I used to fight like hell with them because they always wanted to devalue their yen. You know that? The yen and the yuan. And they'd always want to devalue it. They devalue. And I said, not fair that you devalue because it's hard to compete when they devalue. But they always fought, no, our dollar's very good.
Okay, so Tom, what does this mean? What does this mean with gold? And Brandon, what does it mean? I'll come to you first. Because silver's even moving faster than gold. But what does all this stuff mean to the average person?
So first of all, really interesting thing, what Trump said there. This is like high-level macro stuff. The concept of devaluing your currency makes it basically more attractive for other countries to buy things from you because it's cheaper. So, you know, he's trying to make our goods and services more attractive to other countries. So like he said, he would get upset when China would do what we're doing right now. So, you know, the fact that we're lowering our interest rates as other countries are increasing their interest rates, that's why the dollar is getting lower. And when the dollar goes lower, pretty much all asset prices go up, and definitely gold and silver in a much higher way. But the interesting thing is that that's fascinating to me is that the banks are allowing it to happen because it's been a thing for a long time that all evidence, in my view, points to the fact that the banks were suppressing the price of gold and silver because it's been flat for a long time.
A long time, yeah.
And like if you look at a chart of them two money supply from 1971 when we got off the gold standard versus the price of gold, there's a big difference in the rate of which the M2 money supply goes up versus the price of gold. Like they should be proportionate to each other. So I think if the price of gold was proportionate to the amount of money that was created after the gold standard, you could be talking 10, 20, 30,000 instead of 5,300. So I just think it's interesting that the banks are allowing it to happen because they are fully in control of keeping the price down. You know, with their short contracts, they used to hammer it down, especially I remember in 2020 when they tried to do the silver squeeze, they hammered the price down. But the silver one is probably even more concerning to the government than the gold one because silver, it's an industrial metal, not just an investment metal. Like silver is an input in everything, like from, you know, missiles to satellites to EVs, all electronics. So the thing about what that does to input prices when you're manufacturing things, so that's serious stuff.
Tom, your thoughts?
So I think whenever you see precious metal goes up, it means that there is more faith and more demand for the precious metal as an investment than the U.S. dollar. But with the U.S. dollar being cheap, it means it's very expensive for, I'll tell you the best way to look at it. If you've ever gone to a foreign country and not just buying food or paying for your hotel, buy something. You know, you go to Italy and you buy a fashionable shirt and you go, wow. In euros, this seems more than what I'd pay for a fashionable shirt in the U.S.
Yep.
How much is this in dollars? Really? $200? In the US, I could get this shirt for like $150, $140, something like this. There you go. That's where you can see the value of your currency. So right now, it's expensive for US citizens to go abroad and pay for food, lodging, and things that you might want to buy. It is not expensive for people to come here. So on people come here on the euro. What's the euro to the dollar right now? Rob, you can do that real quick. I think it's 80 cents or something. 119 and flip it the other way. 80 cents, 84 cents. So it's less expensive than to come. That's what happens. That's what goes on. But what this also means, it's less expensive for other countries to buy from us and for us to export to them. So that is actually a benefit. So you have these benefits going back and forth. Right now, the people that bought and invested in gold, they're getting a tremendous return and a tremendous paper value until they sell it. And if they sell it right now, they're realizing that value. And right now, it's expensive for people with the dollar to go elsewhere or to buy things abroad. And it's less expensive for people to buy things from us, like all the oil that we're producing and the natural gas that we're producing.
Brad.
I think when trust goes down, the value of gold goes up. You know, right now there's wars and rumors of wars. You know, there's major things going on, and people do not trust the government, let alone the dollar. And I think,
But how come that didn't happen during COVID? Why
because
did that
they
not happen during
printed
COVID?
80% of the money and started giving it away to everybody.
So shouldn't that then increase the value of gold?
Well, if we were all intelligent, yes.
Look what happened
But
to
the
crypto,
majority
though.
isn't.
I think the money that should have went to gold went to crypto during COVID because crypto went astronomical during
It
COVID.
did, right.
And there was it felt like a concerted effort to on CNBC and whatnot to talk people out of gold and silver. And there was the banks short selling the hell out of it. Like there's a lot of times a paper trail of that. But that's why it's interesting to me that they're letting it happen now because I think they could control it and stop it from happening if they wanted to bad enough. But the central banks, for the first time, they have more gold than bonds on their books. So I think that now they're in a position. Because remember in The Big Short when they said they wouldn't let the credit default swaps price properly until they were positioned? I think it's like that.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
But when trust drops, I think gold goes up just because of that. And I think we're at an all-time trust deficit. You know, there's
Unpack that for me.
there's just a lot of stuff going on where people aren't trusting anymore. You know, you see it all over. You know, no one trusts the media. You know, nobody trusts the news. Can you imagine? Nobody believes the news, or at least a lot of people don't, or starting not to. I think they call it waking up. They know we're being swindled. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that the government treats us like a business, and when they should treat us like the customer, they're treating us like the product. So like, you know, people are waking up to it, and I think people invest in gold when the dollar's, you know, untrustworthy.
Would you buy more gold today?
I wouldn't, because if this crap hits the fan, Patrick, gold's, what do you want, to borrow gold for your water? No, I want water, guns, and ammo. I think that's what I would invest in if I thought things were really going to crash.
Would you buy more gold today?
I'm not at 5,000.
Would you buy more gold today?
Very slowly, maybe. I mean, I think it's good to have like at least 7 to 10% of your whole portfolio in gold or silver.
What's more likely to happen in the next 10 years? Bitcoin goes to $1 million or gold goes to 50,000?
Gold 50,000, because I have no idea what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Like I think Bitcoin is on a track to go to $1 million quickly. But
Rob, can you run a poll on that? What's more likely to happen? Let's see what the audience says. Gold going to what's more likely to happen the next 10 years? Gold going to 50K, Bitcoin going to 1 million. Continue.
I think
please.
a scandalous thing could happen with Bitcoin. I think less than a 50% chance, maybe even less than a 10% chance, but still don't know who made it. So I think there's still like that possibility that it could all go up into flames because it's still a pretty new thing.
You think so?
I mean, more than 0% chance, yes.
So you're more gold is likely to go to 50K the next 10 years than Bitcoin to 1 million.
Yeah, it's been
Tom, where are you
around
at?
1,000 years.
I'm on the Bitcoin side there. You have got governments and banks suddenly saying things about Bitcoin that Charlie Munger 12 years ago said it was rat poison. And remember that famous quote, famous speech? What do you think about it? I don't think it's just poison. I think it's rat poison. And, you know, I have a lot of respect for Charlie, but that was the prevailing thinking of the day by central banks and banks. Now, all of a sudden, Vanguard allows you to buy, you know, Bitcoin ETFs and to put in an investment account. Oh, it's okay now to have Bitcoin ETFs in 401ks, which are regulated. It's okay to have them in IRAs, which are less regulated, but it's a rules-based investment account. And so now you can buy Bitcoin ETFs for that. I see Bitcoin getting adopted more and more by the mainstream. And so at some point in time, you know, it kind of crosses. And it's living in the world of fixed set. So it's going to be a fixed set and fixed supply, right? How many Bitcoins have already been established? The minute they print more Bitcoin or they allow it, now you're fiat.
Right.
Now you're like the dollar.
Well, what's the number? 21 million or whatever the number they got?
I believe, isn't it right, that there's only 21 million Bitcoins that have to be slowly mined and pulled into circulation?
Oh, they do that. I mean, the market, the critics would lose their mind. Brad, where are you at? If you look at the poll right now, it's 50-50. They're saying it's more likely gold goes to 50K than Bitcoin goes to $1 million in the next 10 years.
Well, I would say that you probably have an older demographic then. Bitcoin is going to $1 million is far more likely.
Next 10 years.
Yeah. For sure. I think in the next 3 to 5.
Question I got is, when has gold ever 10x'd in a decade?
The 70s or 80s, whenever that boom was.
But that's not 10xing though. That's called,
it went from like,
it was $35 because they set that price. And then after Nixon 72, they opened it up. So I don't know if that really counts.
It went to like $800.
I totally get it, but it was worth $800.
Yeah.
But the government had, you know, kept it under control because everything was based off the gold standard. We got off the gold standard.
Right.
Bitcoin cannot be recreated. It's limited, and because of that, you know, I think the bet is on Bitcoin. And not to mention, I think when they replace our financial system, it's going to rely on crypto, wouldn't you?
I agree. So I've heard you say a couple of things. You said wars and rumors of wars and replacing the financial system. So I think at our core, we probably believe how this game's going to play out, and the ultimate crash in a year of jubilee, and then you need a new system. I'm on that same page.
And I think the powers
if I'm
that
reading
be,
you.
Yeah, and I think the powers that be know it. The question is how long will it take? And I think within 10 years, it will be, and that would push Bitcoin to over $1 million.
Folks, once a year, we host an event called the Sales Leadership Summit. That event is coming up in the next 2 months. It'll be in South Florida at Trump Doral. And it's for those of you that run a business, because sales is king. Most people don't understand the power of developing sales leaders that develop sales people. This video will break down what's happening at SLS, and hopefully those of you guys that are doing $1 million plus, you'll get a chance to get a ticket for yourself. Go ahead, Rob, play the clip. So many years ago, I realized the size of your income, your net worth, your lifestyle is a pure reflection of the size of problems you solve. So for me, going back 20-some years ago, I was a good salesperson. I learned how to sell. I knew if I ran 3-4 appointments a day, I could sell 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 insurance policies on a given day. Then I asked myself, how do I sell 50 in a day? How do I sell 100 in a day? There's no way I can do it by myself. I had to solve a big problem and go from being a salesperson to being a sales leader. By the way, it is very different being a salesperson than being a sales leader. That's a massive problem to try to solve. What happened later on? I went from selling 2 to 3 policies a day personally to eventually we sold 1 million insurance policies with our company, and we sold that company for $250 million. 3 years ago, licensing 60,000 insurance agents. We solved a massive problem, got paid massively. Let me bring it back to you. In America today, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we have 13.4 million salespeople in America that go out selling every day working for commission. We have 132,000 VP of sales, according to LinkedIn, and we have roughly 8,000 chief sales officers in America. Now, when it comes down to putting the hat on of being a sales leader, it's a very different accountability, tough conversations, challenging, transferring your knowledge on how to get referrals. how to follow up on leads, how to properly follow up where you don't offend the person, the script you use when you DM versus when you email, which is when you make a phone call, how to give better presentations, the types of phone calls to make, the types of contests to run, how to hold them accountable and drive them and not upset them and they still want to come. How do you steer competition? All of this are things companies that solve big problems that become multi-billion-dollar companies do. So once a year, I host a conference called a Sales Leadership Summit. This happens once a year. To attend this, you need to do a minimum of $1 million a year and have 5 salespeople that report to you. If you want to join us at this year's Sales Leadership Summit, that happens end of March, we'll go through a 200-page manual together on how to go through A through Z of being a great sales leader. Click on a link below, fill out the information. One of our representatives from the David Consulting will reach out to you and tell you more about the Sales Leadership Summit. Rob, what is the website to go to this? Do we have it in the link?
We do. It's in the description. It's also in pinned to the chat. But
can you click on a link just to see what it looks like so everybody sees it? So go, if that's you, click on a link. We'll spend 2 days together at Trump Doral, and we go through A through Z, and it's a great place to network with other performers that are also doing well. There you have it. So what's the website called, Rob?
sls.betdavidconsulting.com.
Beautiful. All right, fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.